What's up guys, Vress here. In this video we're going to take a look at the upcoming MMORPGs that might actually be worth playing in 2018 and beyond. 2017 has been a very disappointing year for MMOs, and there seems to be a lot of total rubbish in the pipeline for the next couple of years too. Personally, I'm getting pretty sick of the hype disappointment cycle that we seem to be stuck in. So our task for today is to attempt to wade through all of the shite games that are flooding our beloved MMO genre and find the handful that might actually be worth playing. Now, I'm not going to force a top 10 on you in which you have to watch through 7 crappy games just so I can get more views. Instead, I'm going to cut the bullshit and give you the free MMOs I actually think might be worth playing when they release. If your favourite game isn't in here, it's not because I don't like it, it's just not in my top 3. So with that out of the way, let's dive right in. At number 3 we have Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. Visionary Realms have labelled Pantheon as the MMO we've all been waiting for. The team behind Pantheon are led by Blackwidow, who you might be familiar with from the original Everquest game. The game focuses on challenging content and promoting group play and social interaction. The creators claim that they're picking up where the classic MMO left off, alluding to the fact that the current generation of MMOs have become too easy and much less of a social experience. Which, to be honest, I actually agree with to some extent. A lot of the people who are hyped about Pantheon played games like the original Everquest and classic World of Warcraft. Visionary Realms recently released a Bring a Friend trailer which really appealed to me. The game is essentially going to promote player interaction by making content that requires players to band together and work towards a common goal. The game won't feature a dungeon finder, and therefore people will have to form groups themselves, just as we had to in early World of Warcraft. Whilst manually forming a group can be a frustrating and time-consuming experience, I'm actually quite excited about the community building potential of this. The game also promises to do away with features such as the quest helper and map markers which we see in most modern MMOs. They want you to actually think about what you're doing and for you to become immersed in the world. I actually think the world is starting to look pretty good, however I'll admit I'm a little disappointed with the character graphics and animation that we've been shown so far. The combat in particular comes across as pretty weak. However, the game is in pre-alpha, so hopefully we'll see significant improvements as the game is further developed. I'm not saying that the game needs some kind of action combat, that would kind of defeat the point, and I'm all for bringing back some classic MMO features, but I'd rather leave the older graphics and character animations in the past. Overall, I really want to love this game and I think it has huge potential. I like the fact that Visionary Realms are trying to do something a little different to the rest of the market. It's refreshing to see a team creating a game that they're passionate about and they want to play themselves, rather than just going for a quick cash grab. Perhaps more than anything else, I see this game as a really interesting study into whether classic MMO features will appeal to the modern market. I hope the game doesn't turn out to be another WildStar, or even worse, an EverQuest Next. Number 2 on my list is Crowfall. Now, Crowfall is a game being developed by Artcraft Entertainment. Some of the senior team members have worked on projects like Ultima Online and Star Wars The Old Republic. The idea behind Crowfall is to create something new in the MMO space. The developers want to mix an MMORPG with a strategy game, stating that they want to create what they've described as a Game of Thrones style political system, which to be honest sounds pretty awesome. The game features campaigns that span several months, in which factions will fight for control of dynamically created worlds that will slowly decay and be destroyed over time. The destruction of a world will signal the beginning of a fresh campaign. This ensures the world doesn't become stagnant and that one faction doesn't get to dominate forever. There will of course be some persistent areas, and these are called Eternal Kingdoms. This is where you'll be able to do stuff like store items and own player housing. I think this is really important as it adds some stability to the game, and otherwise it would be in danger of losing its MMORPG feel. Visually, the game looks really nice, especially considering that it's in the early stages of development. I really like the art style, and if it's this good looking now, then I'm expecting great things at launch. An interesting feature of Crowfall is that everything is essentially endgame. There's no traditional leveling system in place at all. You start the game with everything you need to immediately take part in the endgame. But that raises the question, what is the endgame in Crowfall? Well, Crowfall has a definite sandbox feel to it, with a player-driven economy, in-depth crafting options, and a focus on player-controlled territories where you can even levy taxes on other players. So it's kind of up to you to decide what you want your endgame to be. As you can imagine with the previously mentioned battles over territories, the game is going to be heavily PvP focused. Large-scale conflict will be commonplace, and you can expect to see some really cool pitched battles and castle sieges. Due to the game's voxel system, it looks like much of the environment is going to be destructible, and I personally can't wait to see a castle wall come crashing down and dozens of players charge into the breach. The game also features some survival elements such as hunger, which isn't that common in the genre. Personally, I think this could get a bit tedious, as hunger isn't something I want to worry about when I'm playing an MMO. However, some people absolutely love this kind of thing, and I'm excited enough about the other features to not be put off by it. One final thing worth mentioning is that for those of you who have been following this game for a while and were put off by the original combat system, it's actually been totally overhauled and is now looking really good. It reminds me a bit of the Elder Scrolls Online combat system, which I took a while to get into, but now I find really rewarding. Overall, I think this game has huge potential, and that's why it makes number 2 on my list. However, the game that I am most excited about by a long way is Ashes of Creation, the game currently in development at Intrepid Studios. Some of the things that immediately drew me to this game were the stunning visuals and the promise of both solid PvE and PvP content. In my opinion, there are too many games out that focus on only one or the other, and it's really important to me that I get both from an MMO. PvP is also going to feature both large and small scale conflicts, which is a really good sign for me, as while I enjoy large-scale castle sieges, they can quickly become Zergfests. It's nice to have an arena-style option for some PvP that is more focused on individual skill than guild strategy. If they can implement both of these successfully, then this game could be an absolute stormer for PvP. World PvP is also available, but there are consequences to taking part. The outlaw system that's been implemented will flag griefers on the map and make them a target for bounty hunters. I think this adds a really nice deterrent for griefers, whilst not taking away the sense of danger that you get when out in the open world. A really cool and unique feature of Ashes of Creation is its node system, in which players actually build up a region through their actions. As a node levels up, new features will appear. First of all, it'll just be a small camp that's built, but as players complete different actions in the region, it will advance and eventually become a large city. Trading between these nodes forms an important part of the player-driven economy. You can hire guarded caravans to transport your goods between towns and cities in order to make a profit. However, you'll need to be wary of other players who may be eager to steal your goods and take that profit for themselves. As well as the node system, the game features many other player-driven events that stem from choices you make during quests. This allows you to craft your own version of the story, which I think massively adds to immersion. Ashes of Creation also features player housing, and it looks like you can not only own but also build player housing. I've also heard that this housing will occupy real space in the world. However, I'm not sure exactly how this will work, as it seems that it would either get massively overcrowded or that most people would never get a chance to build anything. However, if they do manage to pull this off somehow, then it's going to be really awesome. To be honest, I could go on about this game for ages, but in the interest of not making this video too long, I'll just mention one more key feature of Ashes of Creation, and that is that the game is subscription based, which I'm personally really happy about. Free-to-play MMOs never seem to get the level of polish that we see in subscription-based ones. They struggle for resources, which means they have to either compromise on content or implement some form of pay-to-win cash shop. Some people may enjoy this, but I absolutely can't stand it. I'd much rather pay monthly and get a better experience with no pay-to-win. In summary, like I said, this is the game I'm most looking forward to. It ticks so many boxes for me with its different PvP modes and its unique approach to player-driven events. I'm hesitant to get on the hype train as I've been burned in the past, and realistically this game is a very ambitious project. However, I'm definitely very hopeful for Ashes of Creation. So there you have it, my top 3 upcoming MMORPGs. I'm going to be putting a more in-depth video out for each of these games, so make sure you subscribe for that content. Let me know which games you're most looking forward to in the comments down below. Also, if you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.